I'm learning that the hardest thing about being single is needing two incomes to survive in this economy. Living off one income is impossible. And so, with that said, if anybody with two jobs is looking for a partner, let me know.
I'm so convinced Black people love to see each other struggle. What do I mean by that? Literally, this economy, not the mascara, this economy is so crazy. Yes, I can afford my rent, but I could also be paying my mom's rent, her mortgage for the amount that I pay my rent, and still saving. So I'm over here like, Mom, can I move in with you, back in with you? Like, mind you, I do not have kids. I do not have a man. Like, it's just straight me. She's like, no, you cannot move back in. Like, you know, all the issues with your dad and all this type of stuff. And it's just like, girl, I'm willing to risk my time and my efforts just so that I can save money so that I can level myself up to in the next year. And you're just over here just like, no. Like in a house. And it's just so mind-boggling to me because it's just like, what? Every other ethnic background can help each other, but
So I just got off working both my jobs today, 12 hours. And I have things I gotta do here at the house to catch up on because I wasn't home all day. I've been gone since 8:45 this morning, and it is now after 10 o'clock. I had to have cereal for dinner because I didn't have time to even throw something in the crock pot this morning or my Instapot. So I've just been sitting here pondering, like, why are we as Americans struggling? Why are we working so much more than we ever did before just to make ends meet? To keep a roof over our heads, to keep food on the table. When did it become so hard? And that's not a rhetorical question. It is getting to the point where we're not even going to be able to fucking die and afford to be buried in the ground because funerals are so fucking expensive. Like, something has got to fucking change. I almost want to have to go back to work full time, working in corporate America like I did years ago before I had Mateo, but I just know that it's not something our family can do right now. I've been trying to work hours around his schedule at school, but I really need to be working more so that the whole burden is not on my husband. Granted, we do have adult children, and yes, they help pay. That was the agreement, you know, because when we were their age, we were living on our own. We had a mortgage, we had car payments. And that's how it is for a lot of families. They're having to have their adult children stay with them because there is no way in hell that my kids would survive. And then they all have pretty decent jobs. But I'm not going to let my kids struggle. It's just so fucked up the way things are now. We need to get back to how things used to be, where I'm not spending $400 a week on groceries. And I'm a pretty savvy bargain shopper, and I use my discounts and the apps, and like this week is Circle Week. I did a lot of my grocery shopping, and I still have things on my list or things that we are out of now that I have to get tomorrow. So I'm probably gonna be dropping at least another 150, and it fucking sucks. We don't have car payments. We don't have credit card debt. We haven't been on a fucking vacation in years. Like, it just sucks. And I know that there's other families that are in the same boat that are just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are we struggling? I went off the struggle bus, guys, and I know a lot of you guys do too. And I'm sure for a lot of families, this is just how it's been for years, where both parents are working full time. But I just don't want to do that. I don't want to miss out on things with Mateo. I want to be here. I want to be able to greet him on the bus every day. And if I could go back to work full time, that's not going to happen. But if I want the benefits and health insurance and all that fun stuff, because my husband's job doesn't give him that, it's there, but he would have to pay like $800, $900 a month out of his check just to have insurance. Like, no. So I don't know. I'm exhausted. Something's got to change, guys. Like, why are we as Americans struggling so much in this country now? Who can answer me that question? Because I want to know. We need to change things. We need to get things back to the way it used to be. My dad, for God's sakes, my dad didn't retire until a couple years ago, and he's 73. The man should not have had to work as long as he did, especially when he has a pension from the Navy for being in it for 20 years. It's just insane. So I don't know what the point of this video is. I guess I'm just venting. But I also know that there's so many families that are feeling the same, that spending fucking hundreds of dollars a week on groceries is just, we can't keep doing this, guys. We can't be busting our asses the way we're doing this now. Missing out on family time or events on weekends because we're just too fucking tired to go anywhere. I mean, shit, I'm in retail. I have to work weekends, so it's just a given. So I miss out on a lot of things. But I make sure Sundays are for family and to be able just to kind of decompress and just get ready for another fun week. And lately I've been having to put my small business on the back burner, and it sucks because I have so many ideas and so many projects that I need to work on. Just the basics of like updating my website, and I don't have time for it these days, and it sucks. It's just so crazy how our whole household dynamic has shifted. It's also crazy how fast this year went. Like, what the fuck? How is it almost gonna be Halloween when I feel like we just celebrated all that just recently? And we're already having to think about Christmas gifts. Like, I don't even know. Just don't even know anymore. Where's time going? Anyways, I'm gonna get off my soapbox and I'm gonna go to bed because I have to get up at 7 o'clock and do this all over again.
Are y'all taking vacations anymore? I own an Airbnb in the Smokies, and I will say our numbers have not changed. However, it's a little harder to book our cabins than what it used to be. When we bought our cabin, gas was $1.34. This was 4 years ago. Chicken breast was $1.79 a pound. And back in my day in 2020, the second property interest rates were just over 3%. People are now paying double for their house. And we're talking like really modest homes. We're talking like 1,000 square feet. Instead of paying $1,250 a month, you're literally almost paying $2,000 a month. So I'm just curious, has it impacted the way you vacation? And if the answer is no, I want to know what the heck you are doing in order to stay afloat. Because we've had to budget and like kind of sit on some things and prolong some things because of finances. But more than ever, and I heard my mom talking about this recently, like people are just in debt beyond the wazoo. Maxing out credit cards for all they're worth, really keeping an eye on the APR, what is it? We can't even talk about the student loan debt. That's just insane. So I'm curious, how are you guys prioritizing the way you are spending? And are there some things you're just like, I'm not paying that back? I have heard from people and just reading that a lot of people don't pay hospitals back. They're not paying their student loans. They're really not paying their credit card because then they're like, I don't need another house in the future. I can barely afford my own. So what's a credit score? I don't know. A part of me has this hope that the economy will improve. For example, this was $3.50 when I used to buy this for a little over $1. But I'm not sure, guys.
One time Ludacris said, if you ain't got no money, take your broke ass home. And guys, I've just been home ever since.
What?
Contrary to what you may hear from some people, the economy is good.
Tell me what you think. This year, 600 Dollar Trees are closing. Over 900 CVS stores are closing through the end of this year. Walgreens closing 150 stores. Outback Steakhouse has closed 40 of its restaurants. UPS is cutting 12,000 jobs in 2024. Citigroup cutting 20,000 jobs. eBay, another 1,000 jobs lost. Microsoft cutting 1,900 positions. Expedia cutting 1,500 jobs. Cisco cutting 4,000 jobs. Apple cutting 600 jobs. But there's more. Regal Cinemas are closing 429 locations. Kroger's grocery store chain is closing 413 stores. This is what happens because Joey's economy isn't affordable. Foot Locker's on pace to close 400 stores by 2026. Macy's as well is on track to close 150 stores by 2026. Walmart this year has already closed down 6 of their locations. But don't worry, our government's going to send well over $160 billion to other countries. We're giving money to other countries that we don't have, while our economy is going down the toilet and America's a sinking ship right now. That's right, we're just going to ban TikTok so nobody knows about it. Joke.
Are we all fighting for our lives financially right now, or is it just me? I have a good degree. I work 3 jobs. I budget the hell out of my money to an annoying like obsession. Like I'm watching every single penny I'm spending because I'm trying to pay off all of my student loans. But times are tough right now. Like, man, I feel like the more you work, the more you have to pay for. And it's tough out there right now. Like, I think I do well, and then I look at my bank account and I'm like, oh my God. Or I go to the grocery store and I'm like, oh wow, eggs are $10 again. Woohoo. Like, man, it is tough right now. And sometimes I feel like I'm the only one, because sometimes I'll look and I'll be like, oh my God, all these people I know are like traveling and buying nice things, and I'm like, wow, how? Is there a secret? Someone help.
You know what's so crazy? I run into a lot of people that have 2 jobs. They be like, oh, I gotta get off this job, go to the next one, this and then the third. If they don't have like no big career, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, they still struggling with fucking 2 jobs. Yet here I am with 1 driving that's not even my company, because I don't even profit all this shit. So I'm overworking myself for minimum wage, basically, you might as well say. You get what I'm saying? So I know it's like, damn, I need another job to go with this job to even try to have like some type of stability. Because I'm sitting here like, damn, I'm applying for apartments. I want to move so bad. I want to be back in my own apartment again. And I'm so close, but it's like, damn, how the fuck I'm gonna afford rent? I'm renting this car. Mind you, this is not my car, so I'm renting this shit. And it's just about as far as the price range between a car and the insurance together. I'm still ain't gonna have a fucking nut. I'm gonna be homeless.
I know the economy about to crash because these celebrities been working too hard. They've been working too hard. Everybody got a movie. Everybody making a comeback. Everybody in the studio. Everybody dropping a hair care line. Everybody got a skincare line. What the fuck is going on?
I just got back from the grocery store and I went there to get blueberries. There were 2 options, organic and non-organic. The organic blueberries were $8.99 for the box. The non-organic blueberries were on sale for $1.99. So like I can either buy the non-organic and have cancer later because it's all I can afford right now, or buy the organic and not pay my mortgage. So I'm just curious, like, how are people surviving in this economy? Like, seriously.
Okay, I just got home from work. I live in Ontario, okay? I own barbershops, 4 in Ontario, 1 in Victoria, BC. Something happened to me today and it kind of shook me. It shook me really good, okay? I was cutting someone's hair in one of my Ontario locations, and this is a client I've been cutting for a long time, and halfway through the service, he just starts crying. And I'm like, what's up, dude? I'm like, are you all right? And he's like, man, I don't even know if I can afford to pay for this haircut. He was looking at his banking. His credit card was maxed. He thought he had it in his budget. He's like, dude, I can't afford to get groceries. I can't afford my mortgage right now. I can't afford to put my kids and stuff. He's like, and now I don't know if I can afford to pay for this haircut. And I was like, don't worry, I got you. And, you know, I realized at that point, this is a grown-ass man who's got a good job. His wife's got a good job. He's got 2 kids at home, and this guy can't pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? And I thought to myself, I'm like, man, you know, I'm obviously going to cover the haircut for him, which I did. I comped him. But I thought, man, there's a lot of people going through this, and everyone puts on this poker face to pretend that shit's okay, when really it's not. Everyone out there is struggling, okay? It's very, very difficult to live here in Ontario and in Canada. It is expensive, you know? So I think everyone could be a little bit kinder to everybody, myself included, because I think, again, everyone puts on this poker face to try to say things are good, but it's expensive and it's hard out there. So just be mindful who you're talking to and what you're talking about, because you don't know what people might be going through, especially in these times of high inflation. So that just goes to show you're not alone out there. So good luck, everybody.
Girl, you think that's bad? I'm a lawyer. I'm way more educated than my father. I make more than he made when he retired. Okay, let that sink in. I make more than what he made when he retired. He had a 401k. He got a golden handshake. He will probably die a millionaire. I can't afford to move out of the basement. Like, let that sink in. I can't afford to move out of the basement, even though I'm making probably double what he made when he retired in 2018. Make it make sense.
few days ago, me and my husband, we live in an apartment community, and our neighbors across the street, we saw the office had like put like a huge paper on their door saying like, you haven't paid rent, this is the amount that you owe and stuff, and like it was hard not to see. And then like 3 days later we saw like a vacate notice, and it was so sad. Today I was just getting out of my car, and we have like decks outside in our apartments, and my neighbor, the one that's getting vacated out, she was just like on the deck crying on the phone. She's like, I don't know where we're gonna live, I don't know what to do because we have debt with housing. And it was just like so sad to me. And then me and my husband, we went to the Dollar Tree today because the Dollar Tree is like, they have some good stuff for cheap. And it was like the saddest thing ever. The people in front of us in line, like checking out at the Dollar Tree, were paying with change, and they didn't even have enough to cover their food in their cart. They were paying with change. Like this is why it bothers me when people like, I posted a video like a week or two ago about like how cruddy this economy is, and like it's a struggle to like even save up for a home for one. That just is a crazy idea right now. And that's something that like at this age, like me and my husband thought that we were going to be able to like be ready for like here pretty soon, and we're not where we wanted to be anyways. And so I was just like having a moment about it, and we are very fortunate in a lot of ways, because I've been seeing a lot of people around me that struggle way worse than we do, and I just can't imagine it. And so it's a really hard time in this economy, and like there's only so much that you can do. Like people getting kicked out, like I can't tell you how many vacate notices I've been seeing around my apartment complex. And just today at the Dollar Tree, it was just like so sad to see people paying with change, and like this cashier is counting out their change and they didn't have enough for the dollar store. And I guess some people want to look at that and say like, well, maybe you're not, smart with your money. But I honestly think just like a lot of people are struggling, and just rates and inflation are just so bad right now. Like the interest rate to get a house or a car right now is like around 7%. I think it's gone a little bit down. It got up to 8%, which is insane. But it's not all about how you spend your money these days. Like it is an economy problem. Like, and it's everywhere. And like I don't really like to get too much into politics on social media because it causes a lot of like fighting and arguing, but like something's got to change. Like our options as candidates for president for this country is embarrassing. Anyways, it's just people are really struggling right now. And the last thing people need right now is people to shame them. Like I got shamed on my video that I posted for videos of me I recorded for trying a protein bar. And people were shaming me, saying that I was buying things I didn't need. Like it's a protein bar and a protein shake. And yeah, I do have a budget where I can get myself something for myself one time a month. Like it's not that crazy. That is a totally valid thing. Everybody needs some type of self-care in their life, and you just have to budget, and me and my husband do that. Where I'm frustrated is I just don't feel like we're gonna have 20% down on a house ever, like a house that we would want. Because 20% down on a house, even in a 300, 400K, which is very cheap if you find one in Utah for like enough bedrooms if you want to start a family, like the down payment's like $90,000 for 20% down. Or if you don't want to pay that, then you have to pay like $4,000 a month before utilities. Like, it's insane. So I don't know, just be kind.
I feel like we've been duped because I don't remember signing up for any of this shit. I'm literally busting my ass every day for food, water, clothing, and shelter to exist on a planet that I didn't ask to be here. I didn't choose to be born. And who decided that this was the way that things had to be? Because from my understanding, that whole barter system was going pretty well until somebody decided, you know what? That's not working out. We're going to make them pay for the privilege of living. And while we're thinking ahead, let's make them pay for the privilege of dying. If you ever want to understand why I don't believe in God, this is it right here. Because I can't believe that an omniscient being is looking down on all of this that he's created, allegedly, and says, you know what? Yep, working out just fine. Let's see how this thing plays out. Bullshit. I call bullshit. Because this isn't the way that life should be. I'm sorry. It's just fucking not.
Gen Z is going to the history books for its economic downturn because right now the girls are scrambling. In the last 50 years, during any type of recession or just economic downturn overall, you would see a trend in people's buying patterns. Normally during those times, people stop spending on the big luxuries, which would be considered vacations or any sort of luxury like purchases such as higher quality clothing, items, anything like that. And instead, people tend to buy smaller items like a little lip gloss here and there, or a perfume, or even like a coffee to treat themselves, every now and again, even though they may not have the disposable income. But over the last year, the economy has not been following these patterns, and instead people are still buying vacations. They're like, listen, I could die tomorrow, but I'm still gonna book the flight. And instead of buying the smaller, cheaper items, they're investing their money in quality items that'll last them longer, so that by the time the economic downturn, is over, they still have their stuff and they can still use it. And also, people are no longer buying whatever celebrities sell them online, and they're going to their favorite influencer girly because she's been putting in more for the last 2 or 3 years. And it's even more interesting to see how these companies are scrambling because people are still using all of their PTO. I love to see it. If you're going on a trip, let me know where you're going in the comments. I don't know.
We just got home from the gym and we just found out that our gym does a food drive twice a week, every week. And you as a family can pick up food once a week. And we just got a bunch of stuff that probably saved us like $80 a week. Because as a family of 6, we spend a lot of money on groceries, and it's usually all on credit, which sucks, but we have to feed, us and our kids. But let me show you what I got, because I think this week we're probably only gonna spend like $50 max. Probably not even that, maybe $20, $30. All this canned stuff, peanut butter, jelly, this whole tray of watermelon, mac and cheese, some macaroni, pancake mix, a whole gallon of milk, and then some randoms like a toothbrush, there's toothpaste somewhere, some wipes, sanitary pads, paper towel, a bar of soap, or here's the toothpaste, kids toothpaste, and then a crap ton of, we got buns, we got bacon, this is bacon, they gave us chicken, ground beef, sorry, that might be ground pork. Chicken, this sausage link thingy, and then those two ground beefs. And it's like that is gonna save us so much money. And I feel like we're so embarrassed to get help or take the help I don't even know how to word it that it makes sense. But I feel like we're kind of embarrassed to take help and get help when we can. But this is honestly going to help us. I don't think we're going to spend anything more than $20, $30 this week on maybe snacks for the kids and cereals, breakfast stuff. But other than that, I feel like we're good for at least a week or two with what we got from them. All right, I recorded all that a little bit earlier, a couple hours ago, and now I'm making dinner. I'm going to make spaghetti with, I have about 2/3 of this left over from the last time I cooked it. And this came from I don't even know what to call it, a food drive, a food bank. I'm gonna put that in there. These sweet peas and this spaghetti sauce, and just hope for the best. I did get a box of spaghetti from there too. I don't know where it is right now. I gotta find it. It might have fallen out of the bag, but that's like a meal. Usually spaghetti lasts us at least 2 days, if not 3 days. But like, that's just amazing that I got, you know, that stuff for free. And I'm gonna continue going, and I'm not gonna feel ashamed, because like, times are tough. Like, I don't know how people are surviving, because it's tough out here. Okay, hang in there, everybody.
I'm sure this is no surprise to my audience, but at an alarming rate, Americans are pulling from their 401k. And this is just another reminder that almost every single problem within our society could probably be solved if we adequately address the economic inequalities that exist. Because people are having to make really hard decisions about planning for their future or trying to survive today. So while the rich continue to get rich, the average American is stuck holding the bill, and it doesn't seem like there's any end in sight.
What's going on? UPS just let go of 12,000.
It's time to vent with Tay, so buckle up, because I'm freaking frustrated. Why am I frustrated? I'm frustrated because in today's world, being the default parent pretty much means like you are the only parent. And with that being said, being a working mother, a working single mother with 2 children is so conflicting, because my children come first always. But in order to support my children, I need that job. But what's hard is when they're in daycare and the daycare's closed for holidays. For instance, next week is the 4th of July, so they're closed on the 4th and the 5th. Well, I'm a cart girl at a golf course, and holidays are very big here, so I need to be here. So what do? Even though I know the answer always, I ask the other parent, hey, could you help me with one of these days so I don't have to take both days off? For many reasons. 1, I don't want to lose my job. 2, I need the money. And 3, it would be nice if you could do that. Immediately, the answer was no. So it's just frustrating. Like, what if I lose my job?
This is a classic example of a salary reset. We are in a silent depression, and the government won't acknowledge what we're doing is because cost of living is way too high, and these companies just can't keep up. They are laying everybody off and then rehiring people for like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 less. They're basically resetting their entire structure and, you know, all their entire internal team, because that is what they need to do in order to make sure that the people at the top can still get paid what they've been promised to get paid to run the company. That's what's happening. And people aren't applying for jobs because they're like, wow, like this is so much lower than I would work for. But people that just graduated college and maybe want entry-level jobs, or the ones that are desperate, are going to apply and are going to work there. Everything is pretty messed up, and the government won't acknowledge it, which is super duper.
I want to know why I used to be so ashamed of someone renting a room in our apartment to help reduce our rent, versus now I house hack and I'm so proud of it. I guess the biggest differentiator is that back then we were low income, but now we're financially stable. So the income from renting out a room was because we actually needed it. It's just really strange and honestly unfortunate that now that I have money, I feel significantly more comfortable talking about money and talking about my low income financial journey. I wish that when I was younger, I looked at our situation and said, you know what, this is just very temporary and what we're working with here, versus avoiding having anyone over or having many friends because I didn't want anyone to know my financial situation. I just missed out on so many opportunities because I was so focused on people not knowing that we were broke.
Have you seen the video of the person saying, if my checkings account balance goes below 4,000, then there's something up? I'm starting to panic. If you saw the comments, it shows you a lot of people are struggling. Not only that, we're all just trying to figure it out. If you're 18, 25, 30, 35, we're all just trying to figure this shit out. Now, everybody pay attention. Any woman that says to me, oh, I'm not down to go 50-50 for about 2 to 3 years so we can all just stack up, you're an enemy of progress. Not like, listen. The fact that this economy is the worst it's ever been, like, we are in the worst times economically, and you say, nah, you gotta go 100 and 0, literally go to fucking hell. Do you know how much it costs to get a single family house in the US? Around $300,000 to $500,000. And you're telling me you're not willing to go 50-50 so we can get an asset? Okay, what I want you to do is go to your nearest Walmart, buy Clorox bleach and drink it. TikTok's packing up in 6 to 8 months. Make sure you're following me on Instagram.